The fastest way to cut short your learning curve is to find a mentor. And in this particular video, I want to share with you how do you find a mentor, how to find a good mentor, and what are the different aspects of mentorship. Because in this video, I want to share all the different aspects of what is the definition of a mentor, who is a mentor. Two is I'll be talking about what are the qualities of great mentors, and if you want to be a great mentor to others, what should you keep in mind. Number three is I want to talk about how I found my mentor. And another question that many people have, can you have many mentors? And I'm going to give my views on that. And finally, I'm going to talk about the mentor and mentee relationship. What is the best way to, what should be the mood of both? If you're playing the role of a mentor, what should be your mindset like? And if you're playing the role of a mentee, what should be your mindset like? Okay, so I would like you to take some notes because it's a very important topic, the topic of how to find a mentor. And today we are seeing a lot of mentors all over the place. Like if you just open up YouTube, you have all kinds of people who are teaching all kinds of topics. But a true mentor is someone who's able to take you from point A to point B on a path of least resistance. And I want you to take notes and understand this concept on a deeper level. There are many definitions, many textbook definitions of this, but I'm going to share with you my views on what has worked for me and how by me choosing the right mentor and asking the right questions at the right time, that changed the game for me and that helped me get results in my life, in my business, in every aspect. So let's dive into it and let's understand how to find a mentor. Hey there, Siddharth Rajshekar here. Thank you so much for actually tuning into this video. And before we even get started, just hit that like button so that we feed the algorithms that can give you more of this content in the future. Okay, so finding a mentor, this particular topic is very close to my heart because I've always believed in mentors. I believe that mentors who are those kind of people who come into your life, and like for me, they came into my life at the point where I was stuck, and by just following the principles of the mentor, whatever the teaching mentors shared, I've been able to achieve and cut short my learning curve by a long way. Now, mentors can be there in every aspect of your life, okay? And I'll come to that point later on where can you have multiple mentors and stuff like that? And the answer is it's yes and no. I'll tell you about that later. But let's get into the first question, which is who is a mentor? According to me, I've just made a few points, okay? A mentor is somebody who is a guide, okay? It's not necessary. A mentor is not necessarily somebody who has all the answers to the questions, but who has some amount of experience, who can guide someone in the right direction based on their own experience of life and their own, application of that particular knowledge. Okay, so a mentor is somebody who's a guide, somebody who has the ability to coach, somebody who has the ability to also communicate and teach others. And more than anything else, somebody who is able to help you make progress. That is what is a mentor. If you can take somebody from being stuck to getting unstuck, you are playing the role of a mentor. Okay, that's my definition. Like today, we have a lot of information givers in the online space. They give a lot of information, but they're not able to help people get unstuck. There are a lot of people who give a lot of knowledge. They talk about all kinds of stuff that can boggle somebody's mind. And that role that they are playing, sometimes it confuses their students even more. So that is not really playing the role of a mentor. They are playing the role of an influencer or an information giver. But a mentor is someone who has the ability to get people unstuck from whatever stuck position that they are. Okay, so that is my definition of a mentor. Someone who has that ability to understand what exactly the problem is and give clarity on the path for that particular student so that they can go from that point A to point B on a path of least resistance and to get them unstuck from the situation. Okay, that's my definition of a mentor. Which leads me to the next point is, what are the qualities of great mentors? Okay, when I look at all my mentors, I actually made a list of all the different points and how I was able to connect with them and how they transformed my life from being like a nothing, nobody to now being able to impact so many people right now on my YouTube channel, in my community, thousands of people. All that happened because they were able to create a behavioral change in me as a person. Okay, so again, great mentors, one of the qualities is that they don't just give information, they create a transformation in their students. They don't just give talk about tools and tactics and stuff. They focus on fixing habits and behaviors of their students. Okay, so when I look at that, the first quality of a great mentor is that they are an implementer. Okay, they are not someone who's like a hypocrite who says something and does something else. Okay, they are walking the talk, so they're an implementer. The second quality of a great mentor, when I notice my mentors, is they are great listeners. They are not just somebody who just gives quick solutions. If you want to be a good mentor to others, be a good listener. Listen to what people have to say. Listen to the market. Like, you don't have to have somebody sitting in front of you and you're listening to them speak, but you can listen to the marketplace. You can listen to what are the needs. This can be a very a subconscious kind of listening. Okay, it's not a very conscious listening of what people are saying, but reading between the lines and trying to understand what is behind the lines. Like if somebody comes and tells or makes a post on Facebook, on my group, saying that, okay, I'm having this particular challenge, I like to look at that. I like to listen to that market and understand, okay, what is that point behind that message that they post? Like what really made them post that message? And once you understand at that level of listening, I'm talking about a very subliminal listening, okay, more than subconscious, the word is subliminal listening. When you're able to do that, then you'll be able to provide the right solutions to your audience. Okay. So the second quality of a great mentor is they're good listeners. The third quality of great mentors is they are lifelong learners, and they never project themselves as someone as though they already know everything. Okay, they're always learning and they're always a work in progress. The other aspect of a great mentor is, even though I mentioned the word implementer, they're somebody who's a practitioner. I want to use the word practitioner is because they are not just implementing the knowledge that they speak, but it is a part of their lifestyle. Okay, and I know this because coming from a spiritual background and a spiritual school of thought, the people that have had the most profound impact in me, more than them talking about that information, they are the ones who've been practicing it day in, day out for years together. So they may just speak a small line or just give a small suggestion, but that suggestion, has had a deep impact in me. Okay. Now, if I might have got that same suggestion from somebody else, but maybe they have not put in the years, they have not really put in that effort to practice that knowledge for a long enough period of time to create that impact in the audience. So being a practitioner is the fourth quality, which is much deeper than just being an implementer or an action taker. Okay. The fifth quality of a great mentor is somebody who is non-judgmental, because mentorship and connection with an audience can only happen, or connection with your students can only happen when you're non-judgmental about people based on their past, based on their background, their religion, their caste, their creed, their situation. I mean, if you're somebody who's very quick to judge others, you know what? They'll be able to pick up that energy and you won't be able to really work on them. So when you work more on yourself, where you're non-judgmental and you understand that everybody is playing their own emotional journey of their life and they're going through their journey of life. And if somebody has done mistakes in life, and don't be quick to just judge them saying that, okay, what you've done is really wrong or whatever. That's their karmic journey that they have to go through. So when you are able to put yourself in that position where you are looking at all your students or whoever is coming to you for mentorship through a lens of neutrality, where you're not judging them and you're understanding that what they're going through is just a situation. Okay, you can't define a person just by an event or a situation. Okay, everybody is actually with the right intentions. Okay, everybody has the right intentions inside, but just that their life situations could probably push them to take actions in a particular way which may not seem good in public society's eyes. So a mentor's job is to be non-judgmental. And when you're non-judgmental, when you do not put a person on a pedestal or put them on a pit, inside a pit, like Dr. Demartini says this. Okay, when you stop judging people based on how great they are or how less they are, that's where rapport actually happens. People will connect with you on a much more deeper level. If you have a superiority complex, people will not connect with you. They'll feel like, okay, this person, his head is in the sky. Okay. And if you have an inferiority complex, also people will not connect with you, because they may feel, okay, at a subconscious level, they feel that they can sense what you are saying to yourself. Okay. So what you say to yourself also depends on how you judge others. Okay. So even if you're judging others, it means that you are looking at something in that person that is already there in you. Okay, let me repeat that. If you are quick to judge others, that is only a reminder that whatever you're judging others for, there is some element of that in you, which is what you're able to see. Okay, if you have it in you, then you see it in others. Okay, so don't be judgmental. The other quality of a great mentor is they are solution providers. Okay, they actually provide the right solution at the right time to the right person. And when I say a solution provider, it is not just providing like a solution which is like one size fits all kind of solutions. No, a great mentor listens, understands, assimilates, and gives a solution to the students based on that particular custom situation that they are in, customized solutions. Okay. The other quality of a great mentor is what I've noticed in my mentors is they are very good mentees. They are good students themselves. That's what makes them good mentors. Okay, so when they're able to be a good student, they will attract good students. And great mentors are those who have developed proven systems and solutions after a lot of trial and error and by being a practitioner. Okay, so they have systems and they provide systems. Like for me, my mentor told me systems work, people fail. I did not understand what he was saying until I implemented a system. Because he just told me, okay, step by step, go and do this, and you'll get the results. And I just followed it and I got the results. Okay. So great mentors have developed great systems, which comes me to the third question. By the way, if you're finding this useful, just type super useful in the comment box. Okay. Just type it. You may be watching this recording. Just type super useful if this is information has impacted you. How I found my mentor was very interesting, and I do not have one. I have multiple mentors and who came into my life at different stages. And I'm going to talk it from a business perspective. Okay, I have spiritual mentors. I have other relationship mentors also in my life, but I'm talking more from a business angle. So for many years, I was actually struggling in my training business. I was, I used to do a lot of workshops and it was running in negative mode. That means after doing workshops, after doing 50, 60 workshops and I look at my balance sheet, it was a negative zone. I was not making money. I felt good. I was teaching people, but I was not really making money. And at that point, I came in touch with this mentor. His name is Blair Singer. So Blair Singer is known as a master of masters. He's one of Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad advisors. And I attended one of his programs called Train the Trainer. I thought, okay, it's going to be a training program on how to be a better communicator, communication skills and all the techniques and stuff. But then something shifted in me in that particular event where I understood a clear difference between being another trainer and being a leader, okay, or being a mentor. That is a difference, the difference between being a knowledge giver and being a mentor. There's a marker for difference, okay? So Blair Singer helped me find my voice. Even though I was speaking stuff, it was not congruent with me as a person. Like I used to just talk about digital marketing, social media, everything. Yeah, it was good. I had a great experience learning, but I was not able to connect it with who I was as a person. So the first mentor who helped me, connect all the dots on my journey in the business game was Blair Singer, and he continues to be my mentor. And every time I attend his programs, I get so many profound learnings. And then in 2018, the other mentor who came into my life, who changed the game for me completely from a financial perspective, was Vic Strizheus. Okay, some of you know that story, and I also interviewed him. You can check it out on my YouTube channel later. Okay, I interviewed him. Okay, now he was a person that I've been following for many years, but I never surrendered to him like a mentor and didn't follow. I was just looking at him as some other influencer on the internet in the affiliate marketing space and was just following him. But then, in 2018, when I saw the way that he was positioning himself online, the way that he was building his business, making multiple millions of dollars in revenues, I thought, okay, let me model this person. Like I want to really follow this person. That feeling just kicked in that day, because there were many people that I was following before that, but something clicked and I said, okay, let me follow this one person because I can connect with his energy. There's something about his energy that connected with me. Okay. So he helped me understand the whole ecosystem model. Everything I do today, when it comes from a digital coaching perspective, all of those principles and concepts I've learned in his community and his tribe. And by me implementing that knowledge, I've adapted my own versions of it, customized it for the Indian market and customized it for what I'm teaching, like compared to what he's teaching. and that really helped me grow. And the third mentor that really had a huge impact on me is Sam Ovens. Okay, I'm a part of his quantum mastermind as well. And Sam Ovens is someone I've been following for a few years. And what I learned from him was the monk-like discipline and the structuring of an entire business model for the coaching and consulting industry, and doing it where the focus is not on fame. Okay, it is where the focus is on freedom. There's a difference between fame-focused, influencers versus the freedom-focused influencers. So this guy is chilling, not a single post on Instagram, and making multiple millions of dollars every single month. I mean, that really attracted me. And then when I studied more about his approach, totally resonated with my lifestyle. Minimalistic lifestyle, spiritually connected in some way. Like even Vic is also spiritually grounded. Blair is also spiritually grounded. Like all of them, I could see that they all have a similar thread in terms of characteristics, persona, value system. Okay. And of course, underlying all of this, I have even Dr. John Demartini as one of my key mentors when it comes to the philosophy of business itself, like the underlying philosophy of how to build yourself to create an impact in the world with your business and stuff like that. Like how to have an astronomical vision to building your brand and stuff. So that's how I found my mentors. And there's a deeper thing to the story. Okay. And when you actually, once you come into my community, you'll be able to learn more about that journey and how I've taken essential elements from all of these different mentors and I've adapted that, for what I'm doing right now. So the other question you may have in your mind is, can you have many mentors? You may have this question, right? And it's a yes and no answer. Okay. The yes is, if you're going to be having different mentors on different aspects of your business or life, that's good. So you can have a mentor like a business coach, you can have a mentor for your health, you can have a mentor for your spiritual side, and you can have multiple mentors. Okay. Where it's like you're completely following each of those mentors in that particular dimension of your life. But the no answer would come is when you're having 2 mentors or 3 mentors in the same topic. Okay, for example, if you're learning about graphic design, okay, and you follow like 2-3 people, yes, it's okay to get ideas, but mentorship is where you're going to completely follow one person's system, because not everybody is not right. Everybody has a solution to that problem. Okay, they have a solution to solving a particular problem. But when you take bits and pieces from multiple mentors, what I mean by that is, if you don't fully implement what one mentor says, then what will end up happening is your success will be cut short. And that was happening to me before. I was following 5-6 different people, jumping around like a butterfly, not really following one system. And the day I followed Vic 100%, within 90 days to 6 months, the game changed. And even now I continue to follow Vic, I continue to follow Sam. Now, even though they may be in the same space, their philosophy and their methodologies and their ideologies are super duper congruent. It's when you are able to see 2 people from the same subject, and when you see conflicting ideas and conflicting priorities, that is when problems happen. Okay, because it's not that one is right and the other is wrong. It's that you will not be able to assimilate and implement and take it fully. Okay, so that's why the answer to it is yes and no. You can have more mentors, multiple mentors in different dimensions of life. But if you have picked one mentor, let's say if it's a health mentor, follow that one person completely. Surrender to that person fully. Spirituality also, if you're following one school of thought in spirituality, completely get into it and do not jump from one thing to the other. You can study others to have an open mind to understand what is there, but follow the process. Be a practitioner. If you have joined one particular school or say joined one college, you have to wear that same uniform of the college. You have to follow that college's curriculum and their schedules. You have to follow what the teachers say in that particular school of thought, in that particular college. Can you take an admission into a college and then decide, okay, tomorrow let me go to another college and take the second class over there? That's where the problem happens. Okay, this is what I mean. And finally, the 5th point is what should be the relationship between a mentor and mentee if you want to really make this very fruitful. If you want to make this a relationship that creates progress in both the people's lives. See, let's look at the mentor's angle. The mentor's focus or the spotlight should always be where the mentee's interest is in mind. If you are able to see, there are some mentors who don't even care about their students. They only care about their own numbers and their own sales. There's nothing else. Okay. And how will you know that? Because if you can see what that so-called mentor is doing, if they're always only selling their stuff, and if there's no value addition to the marketplace, and if they're full of only themselves and how great they are, and what cars they are driving, and what suits they wear, and what kind of image they are projecting to the marketplace, that superiority image, if you'll be able to actually sense that in some of those mentors. Okay. And they have a market for that also. Okay. Their vibe will attract their tribe. Okay. So a true mentor, the role, if you want to be a real mentor, you always need to keep the mentee's interest in your mind. Okay. You have no role to play in this. Okay. You have a role to play, but it is not about you. It is about them. Okay. It is about your students. And what is the quality or the role of a mentee is, if you want to be a good mentor, you got to be a good mentee. And the quality of a good mentee or a student, first quality is surrender. Like, you don't have to think about multiple things. If you know something is working, if something is working for your mentors giving you like a formula, just follow that, implement it fully. Okay. Surrender to the system. Be open. Okay. Be open to receiving, because you cannot really fill a cup that is already full. Empty the cup. I sometimes I have like students in my community who come, and we have the conversation itself. The first conversation is like, okay, I know this. And then my question is like, so what do you want from me? That's my answer. And so if you already know it, then that's cool. Wish you all the best. You have people like that who like to project in front of the mentors that they know a lot. Okay. So that's not the quality. And I'm so glad that since I come from a spiritual upbringing and background, I know if somebody has a higher knowledge of understanding, I just need to shut up and listen. That's it. Okay. And having said that, the role of a good mentee is also to question. It is not just blind faith over here. If some ideas are presented, you can also question, not challenge in a challenging way, but in a constructive way. Okay, to get clarity. Like, I've asked so many questions to my spiritual mentors also, like, why is this like this? Can you show me? Can you prove it to me? Is there any references from the scripture? Can you actually share with me some stuff? Okay, so when you question without provocation, with a humble mindset, you'll get better clarity. Okay. So you need a good mentee is also somebody who also questions the mentors, but does it in the right mood. Okay. And a good mentee is also an implementer. Okay. If you're just wanting to learn without applying the knowledge, then none of the things is going to work. Okay. So the mentor and mentee relationship is based on this principle that I actually shared with you right now, where the mentor should be always keeping the mentees in mind, and the mentee should always be in the right mood of surrender, openness, also question, and also keep applying that knowledge. And when that relationship is in that mode, it's a beautiful relationship. It's a beautiful relationship. I've had the honor and privilege to have such amazing relationships with my own, mentors in my life, and my spiritual mentors as well, my relationship mentors. And that kind of openness that I've opened up my heart, opened up everything to my mentors, has really, given me the confidence, and they've also been able to understand me so much, so that when they give the solution, I'm able to go and apply that, and that has changed my life in multiple ways. So I hope you found this video useful. This is going to be, this particular video, if you found it useful, please share in the comment box what were your key learnings. And because I just to recap, the topic of this video is how to find a mentor. Okay. So if you want to find the right mentor, be a good mentee first. Choose a mentor based on not just the results and how flashy that person is online. Okay. Or whoever that person is. It's not about how well they are marketing themselves. It's about who they are as a person, and what are their value systems, and what do they really stand for. Okay, you'll be able to perceive that within a few minutes itself of going through their videos, okay, on whoever you're following. And if you're able to resonate with any of those mentors, pick anyone that you are able to connect with, and go fully into following them. I'm saying, like, understand their qualities, like whatever I mentioned over here, like how I found my mentor and I shared that journey. Apply that same principle, and then do not have too many mentors. If you're able to connect with one person, go full-fledged in what their system is, and then build that relationship through implementation. And now we're looking at the digital world, where I know you're going to be a mentor to so many other people. Build that relationship virtually, always be there in the forefront, serving them, supporting them, and helping them move forward in your life. Okay, so share your comments below. Looking forward to sharing more videos like this in the future, and may you be an amazing mentor to your students as you be a good mentee to your mentors. All the best. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.